know you're in the Carolinas or Georgia for Thanksgiving if mac and cheese is a part of it. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. Yeah, mac and cheese happens to be the most popular when it comes to our side of the country for Thanksgiving, when it comes to one of those side dishes. In Carolinas, Georgia, Virginia, Delaware, where I'm from in Florida, it's sweet potato casserole.
Oh, yum. Did you know that in Maine, it's a side salad? What are y'all thinking in Maine?
It's Thanksgiving. Good for them for thinking healthy. Let me tell you what was a staple when I was growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Green bean casserole.
Ugh,
and I'll tell you why. My grandmother, she made it all the time. It was not Thanksgiving if there's not a green bean casserole. It had to be there. My grandmother made it all the time. And we were a small family when I was growing up. It was just my mom, a stepbrother, a grandmother, and me. And so we'd always go to her small apartment, sit around her little small table in this one-bedroom apartment, have the Thanksgiving feast, and boom, there was the green bean casserole and the pumpkin pie. Nobody can touch my grandmother's pumpkin pie. I wish she was still alive today. I want her pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
Oh, maybe you can find that recipe and Amy can try to recreate it at some point, because that's the biggest thing I think about Thanksgiving are those memories, and that's sometimes what food will bring you back to as a childhood or a good memory. So ours is like, we always have to have a Yankee dressing. My mother's from Ohio. That's what she calls it. Is Yankee dressing.
Yankee dressing, really? Okay.
Because it's actually stuffing and it has celery and all kinds of goop in it. I'm sorry, I don't like it. And then we have Southern cornbread dressing because my dad is from the South and that's what we always had, Southern cornbread dressing. So that's what I make. And if we didn't have, that's my favorite side because my dad passed away quite a few years ago and it just reminds me of him.
Oh, that's so sweet. Hey, I'd love to hear from you, too. Here's our number. It's 800-447-7234.
His morning crew.
Here's what Marion just texted at 800-447-7234. She says this, my favorite, chicken and dumplings, because her great-grandmother cooked them every single Sunday. When it comes to Thanksgiving, Marion says that's the side dish that has to be on the Thanksgiving table. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Yeah, we're talking about why you love those specific Thanksgiving sides. And Kimberly said pumpkin pie, period. It was just pumpkin pie, period. And this is because her mom, she said they were very poor when she was growing up, but her mom always made sure to make that really special pumpkin pie. And her mom passed away 20 years ago, but it just keeps her memory alive.
Oh, that is so sad. Well, I'm glad they're doing better, a lot better. And that pumpkin pie, I'm with you on that big time. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Rob and Liz,
his morning crew.
You can just about smell the sides of Thanksgiving because macaroni and cheese is going to be made by the millions in the South. Ooh, that's a big side dish when it comes to Thanksgiving. It's Rob and Liz. Where'd that come from? His morning crew on his radio. What do you got to say there, Diz?
I got to say, if we don't have my mother-in-law's macaroni and cheese at Thanksgiving, we're just not even going to have a holiday. We're just going to got to have it.
I know. My grandmother, when she was alive, we went over. It was just four of us. It was my mom, my stepbrother, myself, and grandma. And we're in her little one-bedroom apartment. And we're at her little kitchen table having Thanksgiving. And here comes the green bean casserole. Poof. Right there. And it had to be topped off at the end of the whole Thanksgiving meal with pumpkin pie. No one can ever touch her pumpkin pie. It was amazing.
That's well, you know what? Ashley is right there with you. She said green bean casserole. I absolutely hate green beans, but when my mama makes that green bean casserole, that's the only time I am going to eat those things. So Thanksgiving, she gets her veggies in, which is good. Jeannie also says for her Thanksgiving, she has to have her grandmother's homemade cranberry sauce. So she's not with them anymore, but they still make it and think about her. Loves it, has to have it.
I'm glad yours was homemade because mine came in a can. Yeah, exactly. It looked like a can laying in a dish. I never touched the stuff. I'm like, ew.
And you know what? My mom used to tell me, well, it comes out of the can and you have the indentions because that's where you're supposed to slice it. Girl, come on.
Yep, smart lady.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I wonder what it is, and how did it become a big staple when it comes to the side dish at your Thanksgiving feast? It's Rob and Liz, His Morning Crew at His Radio, 800-447-7234.
Yeah, Heather texted and said, I make my grandma's pound cake every year. The first time I made it was last Thanksgiving with my dad, actually 2 years ago, but he passed away, and said that when she made it, I guess it brought up those memories of his mom, and he absolutely loved it.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
So Teresa's here along with us as well. Okay, what was it for you, Teresa?
It's a cherry yum yum. It's actually a dessert. And you have to make it all by scratch because it's made with cinnamon crackers, cinnamon graham crackers. And then you have to get this stuff called Dream Whip, which is old fashioned. It's hard to find.
What a cool tradition. And I'm curious, where did the name Cherry Yum Yum come from?
I don't know who started calling it. I think my mom, when they were little, called it Cherry Yum Yum.
Who made it first?
My great-grandmother.
Oh, wow. It's been around that long.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They didn't have Cool Whip back then. And now she made hers, my great-grandmother made hers, I guess it would be, like Cool Whip, except you had to make it from like heavy cream and stuff like that to begin with. And then my grandmother started making it with the Dream Whip, which is in a package.
I like how this is evolving throughout the years.
Yeah, it has. But now we keep it the same now. We don't use Cool Whip or anything like that because it's not the same.
Obviously, that's what great grandma or grandma did. And you're like, we can't change this.
No, we tried to change it. It doesn't, it's weird. It doesn't taste the same if you change it.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
It's crazy. This is the last week that you can register to be a miracle in this one family's life that needs a Christmas desperately. It's Rob and Liz, His Morning Crew on His Radio. We're talking the $1,000 shopping spree that we're going to hand you. And you're going to do the shopping for this family. And your family will also have the opportunity to go to Dollywood and have that overnight stay there. That's amazing.
Yeah, Lisa went online to hisradio.com, and she was talking about the fact that they have always kind of been paycheck to paycheck and have never really had, like her entire life, never had that extra money. But she always tries to do what she can to help others. It's just not on such a grand scale. And so she said to be a part of this would truly be a miracle in her life. I mean, look at that. She knows what she's going to get back by helping someone else. Just that feeling of joy and success, I guess. So it's pretty cool that she went online and she registered for herself and her family.
That's so good. You might as well, too. We want you to win this opportunity to be a miracle in that family's life that needs that Christmas. Here's how you do it. Several ways. You can go to the website, hisradio.com. That's hisradio.com. We'll text you the link. Make it real easy for you. Just text the word miracle to 800-447-7234. If you happen to be listening on the app right now, just tap on Be a Miracle. And this is the last week to do that.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
I have got such good news to start this week. Divorce is at the lowest point that it's been since like 1970. So you're talking about 50 years. They said in 2019 was at its lowest point. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, well, 2020 may mess with that a little bit. Researchers are saying that because of 2020 and everything we're going through, we're actually learning to appreciate our spouses more. And so they feel like divorce is even going to be lower this year.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I know some people are getting on each other's nerves because of this whole, stay at home, virtual, can't go out much, got to wear a mask whenever you go out. You know the drill. I'm not saying anything you don't already know. So I know that there's been a little bit of anxiety and stuff, but it's good to see that people are growing just a little bit closer together because of this.
Yeah, I think if we keep in mind, you know what? He's getting on my nerves, but believe me, I know I'm getting on his nerves too. And if we can keep ourselves in check with that and go, we just got to figure this out because we love each other. Still try to take those dates. Even if you can't go somewhere, do some dates inside the house, cook a special meal or go out on the back deck or really invest. We've got some extra time, so let's invest in each other.
Liz was even telling me earlier that she and her husband went out on a date over the weekend.
We did. It was just a super quick date. We grabbed something to eat. We went and bought a new mixer. Yes, because he knows how to keep the marriage alive.
A mixer.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It was
All right.
fun.
I'm going to take notes. I'm going to run out and buy one now.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
They got 5,000 emails. They said they've got countless many people that are just knocking down the doors and saying, when can we go on a Royal Caribbean cruise? And so the CDC just lifted some restrictions. They said to cruise ships, you can go on a cruise, but you can't go anywhere. Just stay in the U.S. waters and you're fine. So if it's port of calls, it's got to be port of calls in the U.S., that kind of stuff.
That is really strange. So why would you want to go on a cruise that doesn't go anywhere?
Well, some people want to. And so here's what the Royal Caribbean's doing. They're going to fire up their Quantum of the Seas and do a cruise to nowhere. Just go out in the ocean and get out on a cruise and eat all the food and all that other stuff that a cruise has to offer. So what they're going to do first is do a test run. And the test run, they're needing people to volunteer to go on the cruise.
Oh, like for free?
For free. Yes.
Okay, where do I go?
They're calling it Volunteer of the Seas. And so they got a Facebook page and all that other stuff. So if you're daring enough and you're thinking, okay, I'm ready, or if you know somebody that seems to be ready. So they just want to make sure that everything is clean, that they have all their protocols down. They don't want anybody getting COVID or spread it or anything. You have to go through they're pretty strict on who they're going to let on the ship. So you got to make sure that you are negative. They're going to do everything. And so they're making sure, but they now need volunteers for the Volunteers of the Sea. It's only going to be a one and done kind of thing to do their test run. And then you got to pay after that, of course.
Well, I think if you can get out warmer weather, maybe, just chill a little bit and it will feel like you're on, a little mini vacation. And if they have excursions, I might be in for that.
But I don't know where they do the excursions because it's a cruise to nowhere.
Yeah, well, just out in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
Yeah, jump off the ship and go swimming with the dolphins.
Yeah, jet skiing and stuff. Who knows?
His morning crew.
Chris is now in the Guinness World Book of Records because he did an an amazing Ironman competition and finished very well. Now,
that's awesome.
Ironman, this is the 2.4 mile swim. It's 112 mile on the bike, and it's a full marathon, which is 26.2 miles if you don't know what a full marathon is. Some people think a marathon is 3 miles. Yep. It feels like it when you're running it, but it's a lot longer than that. So here's what Chris finished it in. This was in Panama City. It was just last Saturday. He's 21 years old. Guinness Book of World Records. He finished it in 16 hours and 46 minutes and 9 seconds.
So is that the fastest anyone has ever done it? Like, what's the record?
Oh, no. It's in 8 hours. The top performing athletes do it in 8 hours.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, wait a minute, 16 hours, which is like minutes before the cutoff time. It's 14 minutes before the cutoff time because the cutoff time is midnight. And if you cross the finish line at midnight, an Ironman, you're not an Ironman. Chris is an Ironman. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records because he did an historic achievement. He did this with Down syndrome. He's the first person with Down syndrome to actually complete a full Ironman. What an athlete this young man is.
Wow, I just got cold chills just thinking about that because the training that went into it, and he's the first ever at 21 years old, pretty astounding.
Yeah, and such a great kid. So, Nick, way to go.
Woohoo!
You're an Ironman, Chris Nick.
His morning crew.
Good morning. I have a little boy who wants to say something to you.
Hello, this is Noah, and I just wanted to say good morning and have a blessed day.
Thank y'all for everything you do for me and my family. My kids love listening to y'all, and we appreciate it.
Love you.
We love you too, Noah. Wasn't that so precious?
He He's so cute. Thanks, Mom. Wow, what a sweet little
I
guy.
know. You're a great mom, listening to his radio and getting Jesus into your kids' hearts. I love that. By the way, that was left on our His Radio open mic, which is on the My His Radio app. We'd love to hear from you too. You can always leave a message on the My His Radio app, which is free, by the way. Google Play in the App Store, and you'll see the open mic right there. Who knows? Maybe Liz will leave an open mic one day, and we'll play it right back.
I'm going to do it now.
You are. Just don't do what some kids do. Because there's different noises and stuff that some will make. I'll just leave it to your imagination there for the rest.
Promise I won't do that.
Don't do
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
If turkey is your thing, if you're the fan of the tryptophan, well, then this could be right up your alley. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
First dad joke of the day. Awesome.
Thank you. You're always.
Listen, when my kids were a little younger and we had Thanksgiving and we had the turkey out, they never ate it. They would all, like one of my sons specifically would have 4 rolls on his plate and a pat of butter, and that's it. And so I was always like, you got to eat turkey, you got to eat this, you got to eat that. Okay, so now Purdue has done something, and I think it's going to help parents. They have turkey nuggets.
Oh, for real? Wait a minute. Is there such a thing? Does anybody make those at all?
Yeah, as far as I know, they're the only ones that are making them. But
wow, good for them.
even if there is another company that already has a turkey nugget and we're not aware, these are a little bit different. There's going to be one that has dark meat, and it also has stuffing and cranberry flavors within the nugget.
No way. Really?
Yeah, so it's like a little Thanksgiving party in your nugget.
I know.
They're also going to come in turkey shapes and drumstick shapes. So those will really speak to the kids. So maybe if you want to get these. Now, here's the thing. I think they're a little pricey. They just went on sale. They're $19.20 a bag.
How many are in a bag? It must
I
be a
don't
big
really
bag.
know. I hope it's a big bag, but $19.20 for some turkey nugs is kind of blowing my mind a little bit. One good thing that Purdue is doing, they donated a bunch of the bags to junior enlisted families of the 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg.
Good. Oh,
to help them.
you.
Yeah. So
Thank
they're
you.
doing something pretty awesome, but I would like to try one of these nugs.
I am so grateful they did that for the 86. I'm sorry, because my son served there. At
Oh,
Fort
did he?
Bragg.
I
So,
didn't know that.
I spent many days on that campus.
Well, you could have had some
On that
turkey
base.
nuggets.
Should have brought them. And you know what I like about this too,
What?
is that not a lot of places are going to be open Thanksgiving this year. Thankfully, people get to stay home for Thanksgiving. But
I know.
for those who do have to work, maybe this will be at least something that they can bring with them and have a little bit of a taste of Thanksgiving, even if it's a fried turkey nugget.
Pop them in the microwave. You got turkey dinner right there.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Here's a group of students. There's 40 of them. They get out for 7 months. They're working in pretty rough weather in Texas, and they're building, guess this, tiny homes. And
Why
the
are they
tiny
doing
homes are for a program that they call Students Helping Veterans. And so there are veterans in where they live. Humble, Texas is around the Houston area. And so in Houston, there's so many veterans that have no place to go, and they're living in the streets. And these students got together at the Humble, the Humble in Texas is Humble. You don't pronounce it. So the Humble Independent School District, these students got together and they built 3 tiny homes for these veterans. And this is why they do that. This is from the heart of one of the students that helped build those homes.
So whenever we really thought about things, we came to realize that giving them a home, giving them a shelter was the best way to go about this, because a home, if taken care of, can last a lifetime.
Yeah. And let me tell you,
Wow.
these veterans that are in these homes, and they are tiny homes, they're about 800 square feet, if that. It's got a little room in there. They've got a kitchen dinette area. The homes look amazing that these students have built and put together, but they take care of it's like a palace, a gigantic palace to the vets that occupy these homes.
Well, sure. I mean, they haven't had a place to lay their head up until now. And so I'm sure they are completely grateful to these children, and that these kids had a thought, wanted to give back, and did this for veterans. Mind blowing. And you know what? Those tiny homes, they're really taking off. They're very trendy right now.
Well, and the craftsmanship and workmanship that these kids, these students, high school students put into the homes, absolutely phenomenal. Way to go, guys.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
We're in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, and my wife gets this call, and the call is, we have your very first foster child ready. We just signed up a couple of days before. They said, it'll be a month or weeks, and all of a sudden, boom. And this 8-week-old baby comes into our lives.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
So clear to us that that's a Dempsey. This baby is a Dempsey. So a year later, on this day, 11 years ago, is Elijah's Gotcha Day.
Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, do you say it happy anniversary?
Happy Gotcha Day.
Happy Gotcha Day.
Happy Gotcha Day. He's come into our lives. God made it clear that young man is a Dempsey. We had the opportunity to choose this one to be into our family, And we can imagine a day without Elijah Dempsey in our lives.
And let me tell you, he loves you guys. You can just tell from, your social posts. This guy takes care of you, what you've gone through in the last couple of weeks. I've seen how he takes you on your walks and he's making sure you're good.
The other day, he brought me eggs for breakfast.
He did. That was so sweet.
Because I've been broadcasting from the studio at my house, and I'm like, oh my word, he's the coolest cat around. We love you, Eli. Happy Gotcha Day.
His morning crew.
If Cheetos just happens to be your jam, wait till you hear this. Cheetos as a cookbook.
What?
Cheetos Cookbook. Oh, yeah. 22 delicious recipes to make food with Cheetos as the ingredient. Here it is. It's the Bon Appetit Cheetos, a holiday cookbook by Chester and Friends.
Well, I got to tell you, you're throwing around the word delicious a little loosely. I'm not so sure about that.
Fan. Yeah, mac and cheese. Put the Cheetos right in it.
I can get behind that one, possibly.
Fried green tomatoes to tamales. Got them all. Tamales with Cheetos, fried green tomatoes with Cheetos, mac and cheese with Cheetos. 22 recipes in total you can make with the ingredients of Cheetos.
I hope there's not a dessert section.
Oh, yeah. There's cream. There's what do you call it? Not cream pie. What am I thinking of? Cheesecake. There's cheesecake.
Are you kidding me?
I am.
Okay. Oh, woo!
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It happened at the Dempsey household. I never thought in my wildest dreams that we would have a Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving, but it happened. And you know what we did it to?
What?
Home Alone. We fired up the movie and watched it and put up the Christmas tree. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
You just started a tradition. You got to do it next year as well.
No,
but you know what?
No.
Yes.
No. After this year, it's back to the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, right. Sure. Eli's not going to let that happen. I'll tell you what, if you are looking for a brand new movie to put up your Christmas decorations to, there are a few that are going to be on television this week or on one of the streaming services. Now, Netflix has The Princess Switch, Switched Again. That one's going to be on Thursday night.
Evidently, there must have been a first one. Because
there was.
Again, this is a follow-up.
Yeah, and I liked it. I liked The Princess Switch. I will tell you, I watched it. It's Vanessa Hudgens, I think. And it was just a really cute movie. The Christmas Chronicles, their second one, number 2, is also coming out this week. That's going to be, I think it's on Netflix on Wednesday. Now, I will tell you, I watched a couple of Christmas movies over the weekend from Hallmark and Lifetime, and they are so goofy. I'm sorry. And I still love them. I don't even care. Everybody's name is Noelle or what?
I'm telling you, Noelle, same plot. It's either him as the small town boy and she's the big time girl, and one comes to the other town. I mean, it's just, oh my word.
And it's always like there's a deadline on Christmas Eve or something has to happen on Christmas Eve. And it's like, who sets deadlines on Christmas Eve? This does not happen. But I'm still hooked for 2 hours and I can't get out of it. There was one about Christmas cookies over the weekend. I was so in. Watched the whole thing. Loved it.
We can find a group, just get you down. You can sit. You can talk it through. You can get past this. It's okay.
It's not something I want to get past.